Hello, in this video, I'm going to talk about hydrangeas. Come join me in the chaos.
All right, so as you can see, here's the hydrangea. And the trick is you're going to want to find a branch or a cane that doesn't have flowers on it. You'll see that these terminal ends, terminal end, terminal end, terminal end, they terminate, or on the tip, they'll have a big cluster of flowers, which is gorgeous. But you don't really want a flower-tipped cluster when you're propagating, mainly because you want that cutting to focus on making roots and creating a new plant. So I'm going to be looking here and here, and you're going to want to look and make sure it's not trying to create a flower head. It doesn't look like it is, so either of these would be fine. I like to take a couple nodes, and if I look back here, it looks like this was actually pruned recently, so I think I can do it with just one node. And sometimes you'll see little air roots forming. Air roots are a good thing. That increases your probability that roots are going to form, because that means that some of those cambium cells have already differentiated into roots. Whenever you see air roots, they already have the epigenetics, if you want the fancy term, the epigenetics for being roots. And so it's going to be a lot faster process. Sometimes you'll stick plants into water and it'll take, a few weeks before you see like the primordial roots forming. So I'm going to clean this up, cut these two leaves off, stick it in water. And I actually did this about 2 weeks ago as an experiment to see if it would actually work. And I just popped it into the water in my AeroGarden, and probably within 2 days along the entire stem, it might just be where these dots are. Those are probably primordial roots, but they're just sticking out everywhere. And then I came back like a week later and there's just a ton. Probably easily you could put them in a small pot if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you that. All right, here's my little Frankenstein laboratory of propagation. And as you can see here, hydrangea. Let's take a look. Let's see if there's any roots. So like I said, it's pretty heavily rooting, so it'd be a good time to transfer this to soil. And you want to do that early. As you can see, the roots are getting pretty long, and water roots are very delicate. So these types of roots, if I let them get much longer than this, they're just going to snap off when I try transitioning to soil. But this should have enough root area to feed this small cluster of leaves. And as you can see, I have a new apical meristem forming. That little tip right there in the middle, that little rosette, that's going to be new leaves that are going to form. So what I would do here, this is the one I just trimmed. I'm going to set it down right here. And I would just take that off. Take that off. And then that should be good to go ahead and stick in the ground, or in the AeroGarden in the water. I might actually take these two off as well. All right, as I was saying, I cleaned this up, chopped off some of these extra leaves. You could probably remove a little bit more if you wanted to. I like to let this sit in air for just a few minutes, and then I'm gonna pop that right into my AeroGarden. So this is just hydroponic, it's just water. You could probably do something similar in a jar like this. You change the water pretty often. Sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. You change the water pretty often, you're good. It's just inconvenient to have to change the water every day. So these AeroGardens are nice because they keep the water moving, so they stay aerobic, stays oxygenated, so it prevents any weirdness from happening. Usually what happens is you'll form like a biofilm of anaerobic bacteria on the plant, on the cutting, and that seems to discourage rooting. So to avoid that, I would recommend using an AeroGarden, or changing the water daily, or putting a little pump in the water to keep the water moving, like whatever makes you happy. But that's how you get that started. And like I said, that's the expected result. And it happens pretty quick. Thanks for joining me in the chaos.